All right, everybody, welcome back again. Tuki here, still joined alongside Mr. Sin for the win, the handsomest fella in the business. We are going to be able to bring to you Game 5 of this series between Färjestad and IQUE very, very quickly. The team's ready to go much sooner than I expected at the very least, so we're going to be able to get right down to business. Let's get you guys a look at all the information that we have available to you, and we will throw it to the game whenever they are ready. Again, we'll try to recap everything that we can. Of course, you guys know the bracket as it stands. There it is. Of course, Granite have officially moved on. There is your updated version. They will be taking on H-Reds. The winner of this series gets Frölunda in the next round. A look at the lineups as they happen to be, or the goal stats there as well, or at least the team stats. And I mean, 7-4, not a gigantic advantage. We will throw it over to the lineups here because, Sin, what else is there to say about the team stats? It's an incredibly close series. Every single first round
Mhm.
matchup has been incredibly close. I don't really want to throw it to you and just be like, "Hey, do the same recap that we've done for the other 3 series." We'll just leave it as it is. But of course, it is Niepi, Ikavalko, and Jurgeli up front for IQUE, with Nico and Pottsberg on defense, and Teme between the pipes. Afe Mullen, Fopa Toflin, Sebi Larson, Mr. Nipsley, and McSavid for Färjestad. We will try to get to some of these comparisons here if we have time as well. Let's start off with the center matchup here. I mean, Sin, that's been one-sided so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Mullen has been an absolute force as he kind of was throughout the regular season. The face-off, battle obviously in his favor. The points obviously in his favor. 2 goals for Ika Valko there, but not a whole lot of being done on that playmaking side of things.
Absolutely not. We'll throw it over to the wingers here as well. And again, to our producer, when you have time, when they're in the games, go for it. Sometimes, Sin, it might feel like for the opposition that there's multiple offes out there because of how difficult he is to stop.
That's
But we
terrifying. That's
imagine,
absolutely terrifying. Imagine 2 offes out there, both of them going for slap passes all the time. Good gracious, no,
good
just
lord.
mercy. Mercy. I think that's about as good of a recap as we can get.
Yeah.
For this matchup. Look at Afe there, doubling up anyone else in points. Imagine 2 of him, and now be thankful that there isn't. If you're IQUE.
The defensive matchup here as well. Again, great start to this series for Sebi Larson and Mr. Nipsley. For as much as I'm sure they never expected to be a D pairing together this year, they have been fantastic all season long. And it brings us to our goaltending head to head as well to complete this speed run. LOL, McSavid is all we can
Yeah.
say right now.
Welcome to playoff McSavid. He's had some years where he wasn't as good, but he kind of always seems to do this in the playoffs, and he's kind of taken the stats that Nike had and claimed them for himself with the 1 GAA and on the near 90 save percentage, 2 shutouts. I mean, oh, this is the McSavid show, and we're just living in it.
Absolutely. So again, with that, we are literally just a few seconds away here from puck drop game number 5. We thank you for joining us for our stat rundown speed run coming soon to broadcast done quick. Our new charity event. So, you see what these teams are playing for. Again, a victory in this series guarantees you a little bit of cash, to say the least.
Mhm.
We go with a little bit. I mean, $1,250, not a bad way to go just for finishing top 4 here in our winter season. We saw Sabo so close yet so far to being able to push back and force Game 7.
Yeah.
IQUE in a very, very tough spot here trying to do the same.
Yeah, and it could be very tough because I always feel like Färjestad is one of those teams that is constantly adjusting, constantly throwing, new things at the opponent. And if you're IQUE, I mean, you had a great season. Obviously, you're paired with them for a reason, but so far it's kind of been all Färjestad.
Absolutely. Again, sportsgamer.gg, the place to be. Thank you for joining us here. Again, ECL Elite Division playoff action, game number 5 underway between IQUE and their Road Whites and Färjestad in the home green. Again, Färjestad looking to move on to the second round for the second year in a row. At the very least, which would be all that more impressive based off of the lineup changes that they had. Again, one of the teams that were feeling a bit disrespected as Teme makes the save. They're feeling a little bit disrespected, Sin, by the preseason captain's poll.
Yeah, and it was hard to kind of blame them with the way they ended the season. Just kind of one loss less one loss more than Färjestad, who's been a mainstay in these playoffs for a long time. I mean, I think we're seeing kind of perhaps the emergence of IQUE as a perennial kind of playoff team.
Absolutely, 2 years in a row for them now. The short side bid from Malin is stopped. It's IQUE coming down the other way. Need to figure out that inconsistent goal-scoring issue. Again, what was it? 7 goals so far in the playoffs for Färjestad, though. 5 of them from IQUE. Very on brand. Great chance there on the doorstep. Buffered shot. That one doesn't find a way through either. Great pass. Here is IQUE. See what he can do. Just pass to Fopa Toflin. A little bit off the mark. Again, so important here in a playoff scenario. That first goal is Malin. Hands off to IQUE. Gets punched in the mouth for his trouble. Malin shot. Big rebound there. Nobody could get a piece of it. Maybe Larson down in the attacking zone here as well. Again, giving everyone a reminder of just how good of a player, how dangerous of a two-way threat he is. Falco able to take that one away. Hands it right over to Fopa Toflin, though. Really had nowhere to go. Nico was able to pick that off. Mr. Nipsley tried to go right back to him. And sent on that particular possession, at least, for Färjestad, almost like they kind of need to just take a breath a little bit. Like, you want to move the puck fast, but they're almost moving it too fast.
Yeah, almost too fast for their own goods right there, and probably too fast to kind of force IQUE out of position. The whole point of kind of working it around oftentimes is to pull people out of position, open something up on the inside, and if you're passing it a bit too quickly, it can have the opposite effect where they're just kind of watching you, wondering, okay, what are they doing? I guess we'll just stand here.
A good poke check there away from Potsdam. Or not Potsdam, Pottsburg. We called Potsdam's games yesterday for Lunda. And a stretch here is IQUE trying to weave his way through. One knocked loose one more time. Let's see what Pottsburg can do now. Looking like Potsdam with that sauce pass attempt. Good attempt there. Picked off, though, by the defense. 7 minutes to play here in the first period. Here is Captain Yepi weaving his way in and nearly picking that glove side corner. Great chance.
Yeah, Fopa Toflin kind of coming out of nowhere right there, almost creating a counterattack the other way, coming out of his position, being very aggressive here once again, and going to get established in the O-zone.
Bit of contact there. Let's see what Malin could do. Went for the short side, ended up on the far side of the goal. I think Fopa Toflin got a piece of that one. And a big stop there by Teme. That shot save, rebound handled by McSavid. And already, Sim, we're seeing more of a willingness to throw pucks on goal. And getting great opportunities as a result.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a nice shot, and we can see the McSavid style come into play right there. One of those goaltenders that, definitely not afraid to come out, cut down those angles with the challenge. Came out near the top of his crease right there.
A chance again in front. Nipsley a little bit of trouble, forcing McSavid to cover that one up.
It kind of stops right here. I mean, Färjestad, it's been a crazy even matchup, and we know Färjestad are the type to sort of be able to defend well, at least on the inside, and then counterattack. Right now, IQUE doing a decent job of being able to work their way to the middle, but even when you do that, you still have to kind of get around McSavid, which is, as we know, no easy task.
Absolutely not. I mean, again, we saw the save percentage there in the abbreviated pregame. He has been a different monster here in the postseason so far. Great poke check there by Fopa Toflin, but again, it's IQUE able to settle things down. And here comes Färjestad to the point. That shot just off the legs of a man in front. Malin fakes the shot, a little bit of space. Perhaps took a little bit too much time. Didn't want to put much pressure on the defense. Final minute of play here in the first period. Here is Niepi one more time for IQUE. Quick out there. They fend off the icing. Great job by IQUE. Again, the Fopa Toflin just couldn't pick it up. 5 seconds. Great poke checks from Malin. What an individual effort. Gets the shot on late. How awesome of a goal would that have been? That's the only descriptor for it. But then we enter the second period. Still looking for the opening goal of the game.
It would have been too often for Teme right there, as that would have been one of those weird angle goals that you're wondering how the heck somehow went in. But, I mean, yeah, that was a really solid end of the period by Malin right there. Really hungry, trying to force those plays. That slap pass opportunity, that one coming from Malin just slightly off, so it hit the kind of the corner of the boards and then ringed around instead of sort of coming off the end boards and out. had that, had that occurred, Afe would have had a one-on-one opportunity with Teme, and we know what he can do in those one-on-one opportunities, especially in the playoffs. We got to look at the only save for McSavid when he came out to the top of the crease. Nice rebound opportunity. Very kind of similar to the look that we saw from Granite Gaming where Ekin kind of scooped it wide. It was a wraparound chance that went out to a rebound position. That's definitely a good look for teams if we're trying to get that puck down low into some kind of in-tight chances and you have it behind the net. Sometimes those wrap chances can create sort of rebound passes, if you will.
Here we go, second period underway. Loose puck there. Dangerous moments for both goaltenders. Very much enjoying the pace of this one. Ikavalko takes this one away again. Both of these teams had their eyes on the second round. Huge hit, but a chance and a goal! IQUE strikes first. Jurgeli finds the back of the net on the one-timer. Huge goal there for the team currently trailing 3-1 in this series.
That's an amazing goal and just a good job of kind of capitalizing on their opportunities. It was not quite a 2-on-1, but because of kind of the massive collision, some people were slightly, more out of position or not exactly in their position, so they were able to get a quick one-time opportunity, and McSavid just got beat high glove.
A huge moment there. It looked like McSavid was in tremendous position to save that one, but only so much you can do on occasion when it's a high-danger opportunity. So again, a huge goal there for IQUE. And again, Sim, one of the things we kind of talked about, it's worth noting too, with Sawo, of course, that we covered in the last series, this was only, I believe, their second season in Elite. They came up as Tunnel Vision the year before, held Division. And then IQUE as well, another one of those newer teams. I believe, again, this just their second season in this division. They made the playoffs last year as well. We have some of these new clubs breaking in and finding themselves established as they rocketed pass off the pads there. It is impressive, even if IQUE falls short here, to make the playoffs 2 years in a row. But they're looking for more than that. They want to make the second round, and they're good enough to do so.
They absolutely are, and right now they have a one-goal lead, and Färjestad trying to get their chances here as they try to move it into the middle right there. A bit dangerous, but as of right now, IQUE doing a bit more defending than getting the puck in the offensive zone.
Copeland nowhere to go. A lot of bouncing pucks. It's Niepi who comes up with it for IQUE. The between the legs move at least gets the puck down into the corner. Battled on. Tolflin there to help assist. He gets it out, at least back to the neutral zone after that pass had a little bit too much heat on it. We go tape to tape. Great poke check there again. The forechecking pressure from FBK with these poke checks looking incredibly dangerous. Niepi takes the hit from Tolflin. So does Jurgeli. He gets floored. Ikavalko, a buffered shot towards goal. Loose puck. Jurgeli. Now Ikavalko. Lucky break there for FBK after a more fortunate bounce just to get it in that position. Here's Niepi. Tried to go back. And stifled. Slap shot on through the traffic. There you go. Again, McSavid was there to make the save. As he so often does. Back to the point. Malin, Nipsely. Back to Malin. Just blocked in front. Nipsely shot on and a good save there by Teme. Neither of these two teams afraid to just throw pucks on right now. Give different looks, and it's what you got to do. It opens up the opportunity for what you actually want to do a little bit later on in the game. As Tolflin thought he was tripped, he is, and that shot blocked. Power play coming up for Färjestad.
A lot of mounting pressure right there, and I gotta say, Tolflin is having a monster game so far. He's had some crazy good hits. He's had some great forechecking pressure, some pokes to create turnovers. Obviously, we saw his individual effort at the end of that first period here. That one tries to get into the middle, can't quite get the shot away due to being tripped. Afe almost had the follow-up opportunity. Right now, Färjestad is pushing, and they're pushing hard to get this tying goal.
Nico able to get that one back to the neutral zone. Färjestad in the regular season 4th best power play. IQUE the 3rd best penalty kill. Mr. Nipsely loses that one. Good poke check, though, to keep it alive. Still fought for, and a trip there. Fought a little bit too hard to keep that play alive.
Yeah, I think that's going to be Tolflin going to the bottom. No, actually, is that? Oh, no, it is. I saw the last names, and they're kind of similar.
Well, we have an Andre and an Andreas. I mean,
yeah, and then Lindbergh and Lugren.
The names start with the same letters, so trust me, I've made the same mistake. A 4-on-4 situation here for the next minutes. As again, it is Fopatoflin to the box for Färjestad. We'll see what IQUE will be able to do with their abbreviated power play. And for now, I thought they were going to break into the attacking zone. Just a little bit mistimed.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad look right there on the 4-on-4. A whole lot more space out there. And IQUE is on the ice too, so with more space comes you know, you got to be a lot more careful of IQUE being able to break free, and I'm sure they're looking to send him.
2 seconds to go. IQUE breakaway denied. What a stop by Teme. A typical IQUE breakaway out of absolutely nowhere, and the biggest save of the game right there by Teme.
Huge, just a huge save right there. That was right before, you know, kind of their power play time as well, and they're getting another slap opportunity.
Here is IQUE, has trouble, though. I mean, Nico was all over him. We are back to 5-on-5, though. IQUE wins this one, gets it to Fopatoflin, short side, denied again by Teme. Great saves for the IQUE netminder here at a clutch time with this team up by 1. 2 minutes to play here in the second period. As it's Jurgeli, gets it back to the point again, one more time down to him. A little bit of trouble there. Running into traffic. Ikavalko tried to go back to him. Again, just ran out of space. Fopatoflin, whirly-birding around. See what Malin can do. Along the wall. Feeds it to Sebi Larson. D to D, back again. One-timer for rebound there. The one-timer from Malin. The rebound was open for IQUE. He just couldn't find it.
It's seeming like he almost got caught in an animation where he's picking that puck up on his backhand, so he couldn't take a swipe at it in time, but 5.5 seconds left. They have a chance for another opportunity.
Sebi Larson, shot, glove, save, and again, IQUE was on the doorstep. Man, Teme is standing on his head, and again, the breakthrough goal from Jurgeli. Let's get one more look at it.
I mean, this is just a tremendous opportunity. This one kind of has the feeling of a goaltender's duel on it. I mean, McSavid's made some big saves. That one, you said it, he played it as good as he could have. Sometimes a goaltender just gets beat, and that shot was a rocket to the top corner. And McSavid unable to McSave it in that situation. And IQUE is, I mean, to say that he's threatening to score is a bit of an understatement. I mean, he had that breakaway, the 2 kind of rebounds on the doorstep right there, and he just, you know, just didn't quite come to him, and it's an unfortunate. Oh wow, we got a piece of it. Yeah, McSavid even got a piece of that one too. So again, that's how close that it is right now. Off the goaltender and in, and then opportunities for IQUE who couldn't quite put it home. We've seen him kind of go for the backhand a lot this season, at least on those breakaways. I wonder if goaltender has adjusted to that in any way. But nonetheless, I mean, Teme, you said it, he's really kind of the guy right now for IQUE. The saves that he's making are unreal.
Opportunity there taken away by Malin. They're still fighting for it here, though, and again, that's almost what it takes to beat McSavid. Is a fortunate bounce. It's Färjestad looking for their first goal of the game. If they cannot find it, Game 6 upcoming. We've had 2 Series N via sweep. We've had 1 Series N now. Of course, as you saw a little bit earlier on between Savo and Granite, that ending in 6. Again, H-Reds, our defending champions, will take on Granite in round 2. The winner of this series gets former champions as well in Frölunda in that second round. And I think a lot of people right now, Sim, would have to say it looks like we might have the 3rd year in a row of H-Reds and Frölunda in the finals, but the teams that are left certainly going to be looking to change that narrative. It's IQUE here across for Fopatoflin, maybe a little bit too predictable. The defender all over that pass.
Yeah, the pass still kind of rocketed through, but Fopatoflin just couldn't get his stick on it. Well defended, as you said, but Färjestad here really pushing in the 3rd period, and this is what they do. They understand every single situation. They get more and more desperate as the play goes on, and here they're all out going for offense.
Loose puck there, finds its way to the left of McSavid. Already just down to 12.5 minutes to play here in a regulation. Malin off the legs of a defender. It's going to be Mr. Nipsley of all people putting the most pressure on, and I'm a little bit surprised we see FBK kind of in a shell, a defensive shell there at this stage.
Thinking.
Oh, check. Here's Afe. Mullen, big glove save, or blocker save, excuse me. What a stop again by Teme. Here's Fopa Toflin trying to go back to the short side. That one deflects all the way back to the neutral zone.
Yeah, I think it's less so of a defensive shell, whereas in that situation, it probably wasn't too wise to forecheck too deep, but we saw their aggression come out right when their opponent tried to cross the line.
One-timer stopped again, Mr. Nipsely. Couldn't find the back of the net. Fopa Toflin from Mullen back in front. Great play by Pottsberg to disrupt that one. Ikavalko tried to find Jurgeli there, unable to do so. And FBK trying to turn up the heat a little bit. Numbers here for IQUE. Ikavalko the spin, the shot from the point. May have hit McSaven. Regardless, no insurance goal yet. Nieppe tried to find Pottsberg, pass off the mark. Sebi Larson for Mullen. Now Mr. Nipsely. It's Fopa Toflin tried to fire one on. Mullen took a swing at it. Great step up by Nipsely, but a bad bounce. 2-on-1 down the other way. Afe gets back, breaks it up, and wins the puck. 5 minutes to go. An incredibly fast-paced third period. Will Game 6 be upcoming? Can IQUE stave off elimination again? Sebi Larson draws the call. Think there was contact with Afe. No, it is outright a trip. And it will be the captain, Nieppe, going to the box.
It's just pucks, sticks and bodies all in kind of one location, and ends up being a trip right there. Sebi Larson was committing to kind of the rush down the middle lane, and this is a big opportunity for Färjestad.
Off the draw, it is IQUE in possession. Unable, I was going to say unable to clear the puck. Mr. Nipsely, bad break there to not have his player make a read for it. Yeah. 3:48 to go now after the offside.
I mean, he read that one perfectly. In all fairness, I think hard to disagree with that. Should have been an interception right there, but just kind of bounces over his stick, or he can't quite corral it there. And an offside as well. They have to start in the neutral now.
Mullen for Nipsely. Good movement, but Nipsely stuck on the backhand. Don't know if that's where he intended to pass. Halfway now through this power play. Mr. Nipsely for Fopa Toflin. Mullen has it. Throws it into the slot. Nobody home. Puck cleared out. Not what FBK needed on this man advantage. 20 seconds to go. Mullen does gain the zone. Now in the corner. We're back to 5-on-5. 2 minutes to play. Fopa Toflin has it. Let's see what he does. Elects to go to the point. Sebi Larson has to circle back. Ran into trouble. Mr. Nipsely with the chop. Great work there. Final minute of play here in regulation. Game 6. IQUE win. Game 6 coming up as Sebi Larson gets flat. 50 seconds now. Shot. Save. Rebound. Teme's there again. Here come IQUE. And Nipsely again, a good job defensively. They go for the quick out. Afe scores! Try to hide from it. Dread it. It is inevitable. Afe scores. We are tied at 1.
Oh my goodness. I mean, Färjestad was pressing and pressing and pressing, trying a bit of everything. I didn't even think they were going to attempt a slap pass there. All of a sudden, I mean, Afe again just somehow finds a way. That speedy little sniper build sneaks in, goes on the forehand, and finally beats Teme. And I mean, I think that's an incredible new slogan for the man. Afe is inevitable.
He does it again. We are tied at 1. So close yet so far for IQUE. But here we go. 25 seconds left. It's a whole new game. Ikavalko, now Nieppe. Shot from the point. Blocked down by the traffic in front. What an effort defensively from Nipsely. Nieppe scores! He finds the loose puck and buries it. IQUE regain the lead with 16 seconds to play.
That's just incredibly unfortunate. They couldn't get the puck, and then all of a sudden it gets picked up by IQUE, and he just scores immediately. And that's, I mean, what a swing right there. We saw McSaven kind of go with the pad stack and then reach his hands out him. not exactly too sure if he was threatened by perhaps the pass across the ice or what, trying to cover a bit too much of the net, but Niepi's able to score, and just like that, the miraculous late goal from Färjestad means nothing.
11 seconds to play. IQUE in control. Nipsely pokes it back, but no possession. IQUE will live to see another game. Game 6 coming up in just a few minutes as it's a 2-1 victory. And Game 6 coming. Unbelievable, Sid. Unbelievable. What a final few minutes.
I mean, that was just insane back and forth. Färjestad played a great game, but it was just a couple kind of mistakes or mishaps, if you will, at kind of a crucial times, and they simply didn't get enough offense. So we talked about it a lot. It was unfortunate for McSavid by, I think, doing what he did may have opened up a bit of space on that short side. Obviously not where he wanted to find himself with the puck, kind of a hectic situation, and all of a sudden put Niepi in one-on-one all alone with them. Bouncing puck scenario that Färjestad are just unable to get out of, just get in control and get out of a dangerous location. And Niepi was the beneficiary of that. As I mean, you can see just how hectic. Look how long it was just kind of sitting there. Yeah, I think McSavid was maybe trying to also cover the possibility of that the backdoor pass. That's my only thought. They was trying to cover two places at once, and unfortunately, sometimes when you attempt to chase two rabbits, they both get away. And that game got away, I think, from Färjestad a little bit. I feel like they were obviously they tripled the shots. They had the majority of the time.
Let's be honest. Teme just stole that game.
Absolutely. Hard to argue with that. Teme was phenomenal.
That was one of the best goaltending performances we have seen in this opening round. Obviously, that's such a tough break on that first goal from McSavid. But right here, we'll get a look at it just before the red line. What a play this was. And again, Afe makes it happen. Crazy. Absolutely crazy finish to that game. And as again, we'll get one more look. Right as I was kind of praising Nipsely, what happened here? His guy just kind of fanned on it. And then unfortunately, there it was Mullen who got caught kind of turning around and walking right into him, which generated that incidental contact.
Yeah, he didn't get the puck pickup. Looks like it went off of his stick or skate and went right to kind of Niepi. So it wasn't so much people were abandoning kind of the zone. It's that they made the pass. They began to turn to skate up the ice, get that puck the heck out of a dangerous location. And in that case, it didn't work out. You almost think, you think back to it, and at least I would. It's like, man, I should have just shot the puck out. Once I had that, you just kind of panic, try to shoot the puck out. But with the way those bumps work, if you are spamming on that right stick too much, you might just end up taking a penalty. So it's a tough situation nonetheless. And that's a heartbreaker for Färjestad, who played incredibly well. And you could argue they kind of just got goalied by a Teme in net who played phenomenally.
Absolutely. Again, a stunning game there. Game 6 coming up. Again, we will be with this series until its conclusion. Even if it were to go 7, we'll find out soon. Again, now a 3-2 lead there. Let's get you a quick word from our sponsors. Give the teams a chance to kind of get things ready, and we'll be back for the start of Game 6. Unbelievable end to that 5th game.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Lähdetään haastamaan yhdellä yhtä vastaan. Loistava nälkäisen pelaajan ratkaisu, ohi mennään. Luukulla ollaan valmiina. Ja sitten katsotaan, kaikki kestää. Vanhanaikaisella kiekkolapaan, ilmaveivi, klassikko, maali! Wilhelm vei todella komeasti nakkikioskille. Wernerin nakki on loistava vahvistus Wilhelm joukkueelle.
All right, everybody, we are back. Thank you very much for sticking with us. Frozen Webcam 24 here alongside Sin. We thank you for sticking with us through some of these tech difficulties as well. But again, you just saw it, Färjestad dropping Game 5. They've dropped 2 in a row. Boy, doesn't that sound familiar based off of today's action, Sin. All of a sudden, it is Game 6. An updated look, of course, at the bracket and as things stand. This is our last active playoff series. Of course, again, we'll be with it for either this last game or Game 7 as well. Again, a maximum of 2 more games here in the quarterfinals. Again, we already know that first matchup. H-Reds and Granite Gaming locked in the semifinals. And of course, the winner of this series takes on Frölunda. But Sim, what we wanted to do was give everyone a look at kind of the results of those series. We have our latest results to look at here and to show you how these series have played out. Enough one-goal games and overtimes for you?
I mean, that's what it's been. It's been so close, despite, some of the series being sweeps or, now it's, going to kind of, 6 games for a couple of these. Every single one was insanely close. I mean, you look at that for Frölunda Havu series. The 3-1 win even was, I think it was an empty netter. So, I mean, just absolutely insane how close these things were. Look at that. Goons and H-Reds, the first 3 games all went to overtime. It, again, could have kind of gone either way, but, the great teams kind of always find a way to win. They're able to find that extra goal. And H-Reds, obviously, one of those great teams. But here with IQUE at Färjestad, again, look how tight it's been. Just the kind of one game where it was a two-goal win. The rest, I mean, 1-0 OT wins for Färjestad. Ridiculous enough, but wasn't quite enough in that one. I think they're going to have to find a way to get a few more goals here against IQUE, but can be tough. I mean, Teme clearly has had a tremendous series.
Absolutely. So again, very interesting to see how this is all kind of played out. It has been such an incredibly close run and these incredibly close series that we've had here in the Elite Division. We expected really nothing less. And again, we've talked about it. The sweeps that we've had, or the 2 sweeps that we did have, hardly like indicative of what those series actually were. Now, of course, as well, Pro Division action, we try to cover as much as we can. Obviously, the Elite Division takes priority here on broadcast, but the first round is nearly done as Reality Check. They were down 2-1. They come back to win it in 7. Yippee Voskala and Norex are currently playing as it stands. Game 7 for them has started right now. Actually, that game is live over on the Yip Esports channel. Very intrigued to see what happens there. But then you see 2 other upsets as well, with Stargazing and Arctic moving on. And of course, we'll continue to try and bring Pro Division coverage here as we move on to the semifinals and especially the finals.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy as our our second best division kind of figures kind of goes throughout the playoffs here, and we're starting to get a glimpse of who's going to be some of those teams that are going to be fighting to get their way back into the Elite Division.
Absolutely. So again, still a lot to be decided, not just, of course, here in the Elite Division, but all of our other divisions as well. You see the teams there are matched up and are ready to go. Sin, it's going to be interesting now to see how this plays out. Again, Färjestad 1 win away from securing at least that $1,250 in prize money. And of course, if they can make it to the semifinals, it goes up. Or if they can make it to the finals, it goes up that much more here in our winter season. And of course, every team would love to be crowned, the winner of the grand finale, of course, a little bit later on this season for our 22 season. FBK there in their road whites. What's it going to take to find a way to beat Teme more than once? Because, my goodness, he was absolutely phenomenal in that first game.
It's hard to really kind of criticize Färjestad's attack because it was so good. They just didn't put the puck in the net. So I don't know. I'm kind of stumped on that. Really, that game came down to Teme was just incredible, and he made some great saves. I think they were doing all the right things. Some of those bounces, off the rebounds, couldn't quite find off a stick. There were some other ones that he did get a stick on that were turned aside. Some of the slap passes went a bit awry, but for the most part, Färjestad has a great game. It just didn't go their way.
So here we go. Game 6 underway. We need to wait to see how this one is going to play out again if IQUE win. Game 7 on the horizon. If they fall short, then we know it will be Färjestad taking on Frölunda in the next round. Or offside call there.
Not an easy task by any means. I mean, it would be, it's Frölunda, obviously, incredibly great team. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Färjestad right here, but You know, at the end of the day, you have to be able to bury your chances. Doesn't really matter who you're in net or who's in net on the other side. You have to find a way.
Early a bid here perhaps for IQUE. That slap shot denied and all the way back to the neutral zone. Färjestad regaining possession. That pass off the mark. Icing call here as well. Maybe a bit of a nervous start for these two teams.
Yeah, just a bit of a slower one to get going here, as I'm sure it'll pick up at some point when things kind of get a bit more hectic here. I'd like to see Färjestad try to force that issue.
Pick save there by McSaven, and you know, it's always that argument. Are you playing to win or are you playing not to lose? And you never really know on a game-to-game basis kind of what you're going to get, and I feel like it does consistently change as a game goes along.
Yeah, definitely. The situation's kind of always adapting here, as we're seeing Färjestad actually in an aggressive set. I think they tried to move that back. It works out for them right there. Nice saucer pass over to Färjestad.
Hands there, shoveled on in front by Mullen. That one again denied by Temme. Färjestad taking that one away. Again, two outstanding goaltenders. They have the ability to steal games, as we saw through the first 3 games of this series for McSaven and especially Temme in that prior game, Game 5. Sebby Larson throws it on. Good stop there. Now it's Mullen for Afe, the odd angle. Loose puck, Ikavalko having a little bit of trouble. Mullen still down there fighting for it with Nico.
Ooh.
Temme will impale himself to make the cover.
Yeah, that was, the way he made that cover seems like it was right on the goal line right there somehow, and that's a good bit of work down low for Färjestad, so I'd like to see them build off this too, try to get a few more shots.
Draw Nipsely now for Mullen. Good opportunity there again. And another one as well. Big saves by Temme here in the first.
Wow. That was poked on by Färjestad. I mean, how good has his defensive stick been? I mean, the pokes, his skill stick, everything. He has been kind of a monster here in this broadcast so far. That poke actually almost found its way to the back of the net.
One-timer blocked down. Afe was on the doorstep, couldn't settle it. Go for the quick out. Miscommunication there, though. There was really no one streaking up the ice for it. We'll have another reset here. Numerous stoppages in this first period.
And that puck actually went in the net from that kind of throwaway slap shot from Sebby Larson from the end. But they have an offensive zone draw here, a chance to kind of keep building on what they've been doing so far.
Held the corner here by Färjestad wanted that wraparound. Looked like it was open. No dice on that one. IQUE trying to get something going, and Färjestad's offensive zone presence continuing to force these turnovers before the counterattack can really get going. Finally now a bit of space for IQUE. Niepi shot, can't find a way through. Battled on in the corner here, around the back. Mr. Nipsely, great outlet pass to Afe. He still has it, pulls the trigger on the shot and a blocker save. Jurgeli nowhere to go. Färjestad from Mullen ran out of space. Good job by the IQUE defense to kind of close in on him. But another offside call there. Still 6:44 to go in the first period. One of the longer first periods I can recall in recent memory.
Yeah, definitely been quite a few whistles here seemingly, and yeah, definitely didn't fly by the way the other one seemed to, but you know, haven't found the first goal yet. It's been a good job by Färjestad so far, threatening IQUE, trying to swing some of that momentum back in their favor. Nice hit on Sebby Larson. They're forechecking down low.
Mullen has it here. The big stretch pass again to Afe. Sebby Larson has it back to Afe, poked away. Färjestad. Now Mullen back to him. Good block at the last moment by Pottsburg. Seems like they're now going down the other way. They do time it well. Jurgeli can't get that shot off. Good block there. Just keeping an eye on the Yippee Voskal and No Rex game. One of the most absurd goals I think I've ever seen called good just went in. It's now 2-0 in favor of Yippee Voskala in Game 7, midway through the second period. Of course, very intrigued by those Pro Division playoffs, and we've had the the unfortunate situation where we've had to talk about Yippee Voskala as just one of those teams where they're still the main story of like what happened. How are you in this situation?
Yes, IQUE go off sides right there. Yeah, it was a quick fall from grace. Yippee Voskala jumped on the scene. They were this crazy defensive dynamo with Sibelius between the pipes as well, seemingly unbeatable. And then Färjestad themselves upset them, I think, in 5 games in the first round with just those. It was the Afe show, slap pass, goals, and their quick transition.
Oh, we never see him score goals like that.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
He's been doing it for season after season now, and you can't stop him. He is, in theory, the Alex Ovechkin of this division. You know exactly what he's going to try to do, and he still gets away with it.
Yep.
Final 4 seconds here. Nieppe holding. Nieppe, the pass, and again, just couldn't pull the trigger on the shot. So a goalless first period here in game number 6. We'll get a look at one of the numerous stops from McSaven.
That's kind of seemingly how this series has been. Not a whole lot of scoring, despite the fact that you know, when you think of Färjestad, it's a team with, you know, a pretty good scoring team. I mean, they had the 5th most goals for in the regular season. When it came to IQUE, they were, you know, a bit more in the middle of the pack in the way of scoring, but they were one of the better defensive teams. Kind of, you know, really quietly, IQUE had the 3rd least amount of goals allowed throughout the course of the regular season. So you can maybe get an idea of why they're giving, you know, Färjestad some trouble. And I think a lot has to do with Temme between the pipes as well, as we've seen here in that last game. And so far here, he just seemingly stops just about everything thrown his way. And getting a look at that save right there as Afe using that sniper build, just trying to take a shot from the left-hand side of that circle, turned aside on the blocker by Temme, but you can see the accuracy and the power, the sheer raw power on that wrister right there from Afe. I wonder if he's going to try to break that out a bit more here in this game.
Second period underway. And still looking for the opening goal of this game. So, you know, IQUE win, we go to game 7. See what happens. Again, it has been, compared to that first game, I'll say a lot more tepid. These teams,
yeah,
I think you can tell, like, they realize the situation here. They're not wanting to make the mistake that could cost their team. And that's what we've seen in a lot of these goals, not only in this series, but the prior series. One mistake is enough to cost you the game. Well, but Toflin nearly got that sauce over to Afe. Whereas, you know, they're just kind of keeping that Afe play in their back pocket. Good job there, but still it's IQUE able to maintain possession. Nieppe turnaround slap shot nearly worked again. Like a fadeaway 3-pointer. Mullen hunting that one down in the corner. Tries to get to the backhand on that near side post. Nowhere to go. Afe loses it to Jurgeli, and again, now it's Nieppe trying to find some space. Jurgeli nowhere to go. Chance for a Cavalco just high on the glove side. Nieppe has that one poked away. Loose puck finds its way to Fopatofel. Now Mr. Nipsel. Nowhere to go either. I mean, both teams on point defensively. And a chance there. Just as we say that, you never really know when that next out-of-nowhere opportunity to present itself, as Svopatoflin recovering this one in the defensive end. Finds Sebi Larson, who somehow weaved his way through to get that one on net. Temme able to keep it out.
I almost thought for a second I saw a tripping animation come out with him, but then he just kept skating and was right in front of the net. I don't know if he got the shot away. Either way, you know, big job by Sebi Larson, just trying to create a chance on his own.
Off the draw, Fopatoflin in possession. A bit of creative skating there, but nowhere to go. Nico trying to hold on to it. Nieppe there now as well. IQUE. Take that little bit of extra time. Good reach for it for Mikavalko, but again, nowhere to go in that double team pressure. We hit the halfway point of the second period. So close yet so far. The end of this one, Afe scores. Out of nowhere, the shot on goal blocked. Afe found the rebound. Färjestad have the breakthrough.
You had a feeling eventually one of those was going to find its way onto his stick, and what a time for it to happen. They get the first goal of the game. A shot from, I believe it was Mr. Nipsley at the point. Hit some bodies or skates in front. Falls right on the most deadly stick of Färjestad. And Afe from there makes no mistake, puts it home on Teme. Färjestad up 1-0.
How will that change the dynamic of how this game is playing? IQUE pressures back on as if it already wasn't there to begin with. Spopotopla nearly knocked that one loose. Huge goal for Afe and for FBK. Trying to close out this series. They have failed to do so. After establishing a 3-0 series lead, it is again now 3-2. Here in game number 6. An offensive zone draw coming up here.
This is the time to do it. They want to try to build on this lead.
Afe, that little toe drag to try and maintain possession. The shot, good stop by Teme, was in the in the butterfly early to stop that one from going 5-hole. Not something you see too often. Nowhere for Ikovalko to go. Afe loses it to Pottsburg. Again, still 25 minutes in total to play in regulation. Plenty of time for IQUE to score, but again, FBK going to want to look for the kill. That pass back to Mullen, still reaching for it. Taken away by Ikovalko. Let's see what he can do. Niepi has it again. Again, the captain of this team. Back to the point, blocked, and ends up behind the back of the net. And banked off the back of goal one more time. Where Färjestad find it. Afe can't get that pass. All three forwards closed in on Ikovalko, though. Here's Mullen. Looking, doesn't pull the trigger, and loses the puck. Ikovalko for Niepi. I think a little bit faster in the decision-making for both of these two teams. I think they're good to go. Those opportunities are there. Mullen, nowhere to go. Sin, they got to kind of find that middle ground. The early stages of the first period, they were moving it a bit too quick. Now they're a little bit too slow.
Yeah, I think, you said it correctly. Mullen not pulling the trigger on that. I think by the time he decided to pass, it was a bit too late, kind of too much delay on that. I feel like had he taken that shot, we had a couple guys sort of moving towards the net. You never know what can happen. So, yeah, I'd say you're a bit right on that. A bit more quicker decision making here. I definitely think Färjestad is going to need at least one more goal in this game. IQ's not going away without a fight.
The update from the Pro Division, 2 minutes to go, and a goal with 2 seconds to go. Afe makes it 2-0 Färjestad at the death here in the second period.
Another one of those things where you just kind of get the puck toward the net, and then once again it finds Afe's stick, and he's just everywhere. He's seemingly everywhere, and he's always trying to find those pucks. Gets it on his stick. That's a heartbreaking goal for IQUE with just seconds remaining in the second period. And maybe a bit of frustration coming out for Nico there as he just tries to blast it from across the net, or from across the ice, sorry. And I mean, Afe is just doing Afe things, scoring goals at will there. You see him pick that one up off of the initial shot, puts that one home, the close quarters coming. I think he's actually using that as his zone ability, if my eyes didn't deceive me right there. I thought I saw some gold there, but yeah. And then that second one, kind of a spinning backhand off of, again, another puck just sort of thrown towards the net. Benefits them. They have the 2-goal lead heading into the third period. This is a massive, massive advantage and a great position for them to be in. And it was actually hit off his skates, and then he picks it up himself. So, yeah, and the second one, this one is a weird one. It was just kind of, it was a pass. So it was a nice little bit of stick work from Mullen, who then fed the pass through to Afe, who got that kind of slow spinning backhand, but it was enough to beat Teme. And now IQUE backs against the wall coming into today, backs against the wall here in this third period, the final 20 minutes that they are guaranteed here this season.
Just 8 shots on goal for IQUE through the action we've seen. Can confirm Jypi Vaskala moving on. They are going to shut out Norex Gaming 2-0 in Game 7. So the top 2 seeds in the Pro Division both come back from 2-0 down to win their series. Incredible stuff, and the puck is in. It's being waved off, and I don't know why. Let's get another look at this.
There's some contact right there by, I think it's Ikovalko stringing across the net, but when you got to consider McSaven was pretty far out. I doubt he's outside of his crease. It won't count. That's unfortunately too much contact, I guess, so it prevented him from starting to get back to grab that trickling puck. A heartbreaking
power play, though.
situation. Yeah, I was just going to say heartbreaking situation for IQ, but they get a chance as Mullen takes a bit of that kind of bumping interference call, so IQ another chance to sort of get back closer in this one.
Mullen to the box, the centerman, the captain of this Färjestad lineup. Again, a very late goal for Rafe at the end of the second. Has a 2-0. That shot just wide. What an opportunity this is for IQ. Again, mentioned it. They've struggled to get shots on goal. And again, another shot just wide. Oh, man, Rafe forces that turnover. Self-sauce to generate speed. Can he cut into the middle? He elects not to. Oh, my goodness. What a hit there without a call, by the way. He's back up before some of the members of IQ after that collision. Pottsburg for Ikavalko. IQ need a goal here to get momentum back on their side here in the third period. As Sid mentioned, this is all they're guaranteed at this point. This is it. They need to win this game to force Game 7, or this is over. A great season for them. Highest seeding they've ever accomplished is McSaven with the stop. Another penalty coming up and a full 2-minute man advantage for IQ. A slashing call against Mr. Nipsely.
Wow, and that's... You pull it off, you take another
Then
one
we'll
down.
cut you off. Unfortunately, full robotic there, as I don't think we can get through one of these broadcasts without your technology betraying you, but that is okay. Big opportunity again for IQ. The first one went to the wayside. Needless to say, if 2 power plays are killed off, it's not looking too good. That shot on nearly caught Teme off guard. Sim will get a mic check for you here. Let's see how you're holding.
It looks good. At least my ping is saying it's fine, but you never know. Discord does some things. And that's a couple quick shots.
That North American ping. They don't have to deal with that over there. They're fine. As the puck here in the zone. 40 seconds remaining on this power play. Another block. This one by Mullen. IQ throwing everything at the wall right now. Here's Nico again. Tried to go back for Pottsburg. It was broken up. Gets it to Nico, back to Pottsburg. Now Ikavalko again to the point. One-timer, and what a blocker stop by McSaven. We're back to 5-on-5. IQ know it's desperate times. But 2 unsuccessful power plays. Good step-up hit to keep it alive. What a poke check, though, by Fopa Toflin to send it back to the neutral zone. Yeppy able to get that one over to Nico. Jurgely trying to hold. Gets it again down in the Epi. Pottsburg the save. McSaven living up to his namesake. He's stopping everything right now.
He absolutely is. As good as Teme was in that last game, McSaven rising to the occasion as well, maintaining that 2-goal advantage for the boys.
And off of the draw. Face-off 1. The Epi shot blocked down by the traffic in front. Jurgely gets that back into the zone only momentarily. Poke check to try and keep it alive. 10 minutes to play here. IQ need 2 at the very least to try and force overtime and keep their season alive. Jurgely down low into the corner in front. Niepi just ran out of room on the short side. Again, we saw 2 sweeps. We saw 1 series end in Game 6. Might we see this last series end in 6 games as well. Puck down low for Rafe. Both goals for Färjestad. Who'd have thought? He has 8 goals in 6 games as it stands.
Ridiculous.
Yeppy not able to hold that one. Good job, though, by the captain to win it back. Throws one on. Ikavalko scores! The crazy bounce, and it ends up in his hands. IQ back to within 1.
Well, Afe got a similar play when it went off his skate. He picked it up, shot it home. That time, Ikavalko gets the beneficiary of a good bounce, and he rifles at home. McSaven still almost got back for it, but that puck was shot so hard and so true, and it finds the back of the net here, and there is time. There is time for IQ to tie this up.
Absolutely. Here we go, though. It's FBK back in on the attack. Ikavalko takes it away. 6 minutes for Färjestad to hold on, and Sin, as we've seen, trying to hold on to a lead, you're almost better to just go for that extra goal instead. It's been so difficult for teams to hold on. The shot from Afe denied. Another great stop by Teme. Nico gains the line. He has space on that right-hand side. Sauces it all the way through. Nobody home. Puck down low, picked off by Mr. Nipsely. A little bit of trouble there with Sebi Larson. Here comes Färjestad, nowhere to go. Collided with one another. That might have been a delayed offside. It is not. IQUE has it. Niepi tries to hold, tries to find space, nowhere to go. Ran out of the zone by Malin and Fopatoflin. Less than 3 minutes to play. As Niepi has it here. Jurgeli back to Niepi. He's down low. Tried to get it again to Jurgeli. Taken away. Nico cannot hold it into the zone. 1.5 to go. Malin trying to win that one back. Nipsely for Afe. It's that puck down low. 1 minute to play. IQUE need a goal to continue their season. Otherwise, it will be Färjestad against Frölunda in our semifinals starting next week. Fopatoflin has this one. Gets it to Malin. Drops all the way back for Fopatoflin. The big spin to cane the zone. Malin and Fopatoflin getting work in there. Afe has it. He sends it back down low. 33 seconds to play. There's Nico, now Niepi. IQUE need this goal. Niepi along the half wall. Slap shot blocked down by Fopatoflin. He had gotten a lot of those through, but not that one. Malin circles back. 15 seconds. That pass off the mark. No icing, though. A heartbreaker for IQUE. One more rush to save their season. A loose puck. Handled. Shot. Save. Rebound. The puck is cleared. Färjestad are going to hold on and win this series in 6.
Oh, man, that was close right there. That rebound was juicy, and it came out to a location. Unfortunately, no IQUE sticks could get a handle on it, and Afe clears the puck out of the zone. Färjestad take this series in 6 games, and in that one, I mean, I'd say McSaven did the job, man. He was that's the save they choose to show. Well, let's just say that he had several incredible saves to really kind of keep this in advantage for Färjestad across the course. Obviously, Afe had those 2 goals, but I feel like McSaven was the big difference maker in this game, making some huge saves when IQUE had their back against the wall. They were coming out dangerously, looking for chances, rebound looks, one-time looks, and for the most part, McSaven turned all of them aside, just that one that got behind him. But with the insurance marker, it's enough, and Färjestad move on.
Incredible stuff there. I mean, again, what a phenomenal season for IQUE. And Sin, we talked about it. They were, the 8th seed last year. They make it to the 5th seed this year. They take FBK to 6 games. A great run. And, I mean, not to mention, too, I mean, what a great season for FBK. And that's still not done. Both of these teams proved so many people wrong. And just what an effort it was to get here to this point. What a series that was, too, at the end. I mean, man, both goalies had to stand on their heads to give their teams a chance.
Yeah, I think that's really kind of... I think the narratives of this series is obviously Afe doing Afe things, but McSaven and Teme were just going head-to-head with the saves that they were making. And they were both, at times, standing on their heads. And, just wow. I mean... There's a look at that bounce. I mean, what else can you do if you're McSaven? The fact that he read and adjusted to that off of that bounce is kind of ridiculous. You're just seeing the skill level of those goaltenders really kind of come to roost in that game. So close. McSaven with 12 saves off of 13 shots, and he's a big reason that this team is headed to the 2nd round, and they're going to be taking on, if I'm not mistaken, Frölunda. So,
yes, sir. Let's get you guys a look at that elite bracket. The quarterfinals are done. Again, H-Red sweeping Goons. Certainly a closer series than what it appeared to be. I mean, again, the score lines for that were incredibly close. 3 out of 4 games going to overtime, if I'm not mistaken. Granite Gaming pull off the lone upset of the first round, the 7th seed, knocking off our 2 seed in Sawo Esports in 6 games. Of course, in that one, Granite had a 3-0 series lead. Frölunda sweeps Havu in the most competitive sweep you'll ever see. As competitive as H-Reds and Goons were, my God, that series, again, so much closer than what that series scoreline might indicate. But Frölunda do move on, taking that series over their biggest rivals. And then again, you just saw it. Färjestad beating IQUE in 6 as well. Same story as Sawo and Granite. It was a 3-0 lead. IQUE fought like hell to get back into it. So
Mhm.
with that, H-Reds take on Granite, Frölunda take on Färjestad, and Sin heading into this semifinal. Everyone's looking, okay, it's going to be 1 versus 3, but Granite Gaming and Färjestad are going to have something to say about that.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And Färjestad, I mean, they look real good. McSaven in there saying he needs a shower. I bet that looked sweaty as all heck for both of those sides. And with the way the goaltenders were playing, man, it's all the more pressure on them to keep it close, because when you know you're going up against another goaltender who's just making some ridiculous saves, you feel compelled to have to do that for your boys as well. I mean, GG's across the board. I'm excited, really excited to see how the semifinals start to shape up, because all 4 of these teams incredibly good, and obviously they made it here. But yeah, the excitement level, it's going to be interesting. Yeah.
You have 2 established teams, and talk about the excitement level here. This is what intrigues me. You have 2 established teams, the finalists from last year in H-Reds and Frölunda, who made no changes whatsoever, against 2 teams that made a lot of changes, to say the least. I mean, I don't know if you can look at more lineups to be like, okay. And again, how Granite and Färjestad are intertwined because of the departure of the Granite 3 from Färjestad, yet both teams are still here in the semifinal. What a season this has been, and we still
Yeah.
have 2 rounds to go.
Absolutely. Far, far from over, and things are just going to continue to heat up, and I'm excited. I'm sure the people out there are excited as well.
Again, friendly reminder with our Pro Division as well. We are looking to have some Pro Division coverage moving in to this next week. Again, the schedule is going to be slightly different. Keep an eye out on the social media platforms. Again, SportsGamer GG, and of course, sportsgamer.gg, the website for all the information there, as we have some some shifting pieces based off of availability. But again, we talked about this. Both Reality Check and Yippee Voskala were down 2-0 in their series. Sorry to rub salt into the wounds for members of the teams that fell short. Both of them win in 7. And then again, 2 upsets in the bottom half there. Stargazing and Arctic both moving on. So Reality Check, Stargazing, Yippee Voskala, and Arctic, the semifinals in our Pro Division. Of course, those teams will have, all 4 of those teams will have a great chance at moving up into the Pro Division. But of course, the winner of that finals matchup guarantees their spot. They will replace Djurgården in our spring season.
Yeah, and that's obviously a very big prize that you're playing for if you're in that Pro Division. A chance to kind of, move up into the elite, and for Yippee Voskala, it's a big, big chance to get back into where that you want to be again, from where that, such a quick fall from grace, as we've mentioned. It is what it is, and if you work your way back into there, well, you're right back to where you started, with the same chance as everyone else at the start of the season.
So with that, everybody, we are done here for today. We are done with the quarterfinal round. We're moving on to semifinals week here. Unbelievable. Again, sportsgamer.gg for all the information that you need as we head into the next round. Crazy to think, of course, we're already in the semifinals. But again, what an incredible series. And again, to the winners, congratulations. And man, there had to technically be losers in that series. But there, again, despite the sweeps, there were no incredibly one-sided series. All
Not.
4 matchups, especially here in the Elite Division. Absolutely fantastic. With that, of course, you can follow Sin on Twitter, as you see on your screen there, Sin for the Win Prod, and of course on YouTube at Sin for the Win Productions. I am everywhere at Tuki24. A big thank you again to those behind the scenes that help make this happen. A big thank you to our sponsors at Wilhelm, Kovan Lakritzi, and SD Hockey.